So what's going on, man?
Oh, just hanging out at home.
And where's that?
Lake Elsinore, California.
Nice. So
Yeah.
so I'm pretty sure that's the warm side of California.
Yeah, well, not lately. It's been pouring rain like crazy the entire year, pretty much.
They're having like the opposite. You guys are having the opposite of us this year, right, in the West?
Yeah, it's crazy. But we needed it, I guess, or we're in like a crazy drought, and I think we're all clear of that now.
You know what we heard over here? It's kind of off topic, but you know that you have to forgive me. I've never been to California. You know that tree that you drive through? Is it the redwoods?
Oh, yeah, in the redwoods, yeah.
Did that get destroyed?
I don't know. I didn't hear that.
Oh.
But that's also, I think it's maybe a few hours from where we are, so we don't really head that way too often. I've been there like once or twice in my life, but that would suck if that happened.
That's what I said, because I mean that's the word on the East Coast is that your tree got killed.
Your only tree got killed.
Yeah, seriously.
So that's what the East Coast is saying about you.
Oh, geez. Yeah, well, there's probably a lot of stuff being said about California right now.
Possibly.
Yeah.
So what's it like living out there? What's your take on California?
I mean, I love California for the weather. I ride Harleys, so I love living somewhere where I could ride all year, and where I live, I'm like 45 minutes from the beach, 45 minutes from the mountains.
Wow.
I'm like anywhere you want to go is only like 45 minutes away, so it's a good location. I like it, but there's a lot of opinionated people out here, and
that's kind of like Jersey. We have you go south, you got the beach, you go north, you have the mountains, so and then you got of course New York right here. So it's kind of like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of opinionated people, I heard a podcast with Joe Rogan and James Hetfield from Metallica, and he said like the reason he left California was because they're, I don't know. He said that they basically that they have an open mind as long as you kind of like believe what they believe in. So they're like, oh, you're cool as long as you believe this, and if not, it's like, they're hippie. Yeah. I guess they're hippies to an extent,
Yeah, for sure.
Selfish hippies.
I've always found people, when we're on tour and stuff in other states, and to be a lot more polite. And once you leave California, there's a lot more, people looking out for each other, I feel, which sucks. But that's just kind of the state of mind that I think maybe the whole country is right now. But a lot in California, if you support this and don't support that, or vice versa, then everyone hates you.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing here. If you go from New Jersey and then you drive down south, it's like so many people are way nicer. you know? It's like anybody, you just like you're walking in a store, they'll be like, "Hi, how you doing?" Even if it's someone you don't know here, and it's just like a lot of times I get caught saying hi to someone and they don't answer.
Oh yeah. And out here, if you see somebody on the side of the road with a flat tire, no one will stop. It's like, oh, I don't care about stopping to help that person. Like, I have to be somewhere right now. That's all that matters. Me. And then, like, Texas or somewhere, like, people pull over at the first chance that they get to help. Multiple people do. It's, I don't know. So that's California.
So it sounds like the rest of the country. I have a question for you, though.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the term goreship.
Okay.
I liked it. So elaborate, please, because it's definitely something I'm very interested in.
Well, to be completely honest, Brooke, our singer, thought of that word when we were like probably still in high school, or maybe just getting out of high school. And it was just, the kind of music that we listened to and the kind of music we were writing was really gore sounding. And since we're a Christian band, they just kind of put that with worship. So that, some people maybe we're like, it sounds like you worship gore, but it's really just, our style sounding music that, kind of sounds gory, but it's, worship music, as you could say.
That's definitely true. And people that would say that did not go ahead and read the entire article. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So you know what I like though, because I grew up. I started listening to metal in 1990. That'll date myself. I'll show you how old I am. But you were always labeled, going back to people and their opinions, you were always labeled a certain way. And if you listened to metal, you were automatically satanic.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you listen to Slayer and you listen to anybody, even, Pantera. It's, everybody's, oh, you're satanic, you worship the devil. So I take a big interest in bands like yourself and like Demon Hunter, for example. People that aren't afraid to say, no, this is what we like, this is what we do, and we like this as well. So shout out to you guys. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, it's cool. We all listen to that. Every style of music. The gnarliest actual satanic stuff that not necessarily for their lyrics, for
exactly.
but listen to everything and we get that all the time. People just like, you're not like, your vocals are not talking about like killing and raping people or something. Like, no.
Isn't it? It absolutely astounds me that it is 2017 and people still think that way.
Yeah.
They have, in most states, they've legalized gay marriage, and people still think that metalheads are satanic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like the what was that show? The Land That Time Forgot.
Yeah.
It was like everybody skipped over us, evolved, and all of a sudden they just left metalheads standing in the dust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, back in the day, everyone thought the Beatles were satanic music. So, I mean, maybe in 20 years.
I would argue that with you. I would and a friend of ours would definitely argue that with you. That they had a little bit of something going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
that might be true.
And to each his own. To each his own. Don't drag me into your whatever, because I'm not interested. But
yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, sound wise, when they came out, that was like, everyone thought that was like the heaviest thing. Like, oh, that's dark. And when people like us nowadays that listen to the Beatles, it's like, sounds like, sunflower
music.
Elevator music. It's like, this is not dark whatsoever. So
then enter Black Sabbath and Distortion, the birth of Distortion, and we knew what metal was.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's funny to me because when I started listening to music, it wasn't anything near what I listen to today. It was mostly like Offspring and Nirvana and Breaking Benjamin. And I was always one of those kids that was like, oh, I believe the same thing. I'm like, oh, this isn't music. This is, it's crap. Like, it's just screaming or whatever.
Wait,
and
you said that?
Yeah, I was one of those kids before I got into metal. But and then even when I got into metal, I never listened to them, but I was always under the impression like Lamb of God, like this crazy heavy metal band that everyone likes. And then now I listen to them, like, they're really not that heavy. I mean, they are, of course, they're a really heavy band, but they're just not like you guys. They're not just Whitechapel like that. I consider like, whoa, this is heavy shit. But
Dan
Lamb of
hates
God,
Whitechapel.
I don't hate them. I just I don't know.
I love Whitechapel.
Not my kind of music, but
we found Whitechapel. They opened up for Killswitch Engage.
I think so.
They opened up for Killswitch Engage, and they were all long hairs.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden they dropped, I think it was like their second or third album. Everybody got a buzz cut, and it was like, bam, they blew up. But I love Whitechapel. Love Whitechapel.
Yeah, those are our good friends. We love those guys.
You ever play with them?
Oh, yeah. Some of our first tours ever were together with them. Like, their first tour and our first, I think both our band's first two tours were together. And that's when we became really good friends. And over the course of the last 10 years, we've toured together probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 times, all over Europe and the US and Canada, everywhere. We've been everywhere with Whitechapel. They're good friends of ours.
Well, that's something to say.
Yeah, they're good guys.
So a lot of your fans, they ask you to come to different places. We got people asking to go to Baltimore, Kentucky.
Yeah.
So do you try to fit that into your touring schedule? Do you try to appease your fans in that way, or do you kind of just have to do what you're told?
I mean, no, back when we used to tour 10 months out of the year and it was our full-time, thing, we always used to pretty much have a say. We would just have to talk to our booking agent and be like, look, everyone's really wanting us over here. We missed this on the last tour. We got to go here sometime soon. And they kind of always made it work. But, as of late, the kind of the state that the band is in, we're also busy with our other, careers and families and stuff that right now we're just currently all offers that come through for us to play have to be like we fly out to that place and we are there for a couple days and we fly back. So I mean the days of hopping in the bus or van and traveling the US for a month at a time, those are definitely behind us, I would say.
Do you miss them?
I do, but I mean I think I could speak for everybody in the band that we all like being home and with our families and stuff a little bit more. But there's no feeling like being on stage and performing for our fans and stuff, which is why we'll most likely we'll be one of those bands who never breaks up. Like we'll literally, we may not play 300 shows a year, but we'll be playing some places every single year and doing it for until we can't stand anymore and we're 70 years older.
Roll that wheelchair out on the stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, good for you. That's important, and you're willing to constantly play for your fans and please your fans. It's too many people that just they get famous and it's going back to Metallica. I got this is a personal opinion question. I'm not going to hold this against you.
That's all right.
When I saw Metallica, the first time I saw them, it was, I don't remember what year it was. That shows how old I am. I paid $20 for a Metallica ticket. They were with Danzig and Suicidal Tendencies. So they're coming around Jersey, and they're going to be in Newark?
No, that's Meadowlands.
They're in the Meadowlands.
I don't even know what Rutherford, East Rutherford.
Cheapest ticket, nosebleeds, like you basically have to get flown in, are $100.
No, I think they were like 60, weren't they?
No, they were $99.
Yeah, I saw a comment from someone the other day. So I think it was someone on my personal Facebook page. They were like, "Yay, $200 for nosebleeds."
Yeah,
I'm like,
I looked up tickets for that tour because Gojira is one of my favorite bands. They're so heavy. I love them. And then, I've always been a Metallica fan, so I'm like, well, both those bands, that's awesome. And yeah, I looked in nosebleeds or the grass was like $115 out here. And I was like, no way, because
exactly.
I want to be able to relax, sit, have a couple beers, watch them, and not be squinting or using binoculars. So that, I'm going to be paying $300 probably, and that just ain't worth it. I'll go see Gojira when they play, the small venue around here for $10.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's actually get back to the actually we didn't discuss it yet. So you guys are headlining that day 3, I believe, of Facedown Fest.
Yep. That's going to be really fun.
So just mention out there for people that don't know what some of the bands you're playing with and where that venue is located.
That will be in Pomona, California at the Glass House. And I believe day 3, the day we're playing, is May 13th. Mm-hmm. Let me pull that up real quick. Yep, May 13th.
Nice.
It's a Saturday. Yeah, and there's tons of bands that, been on Facedown for the last, 10, 20 years. So, I mean, I'm excited to see Sinai Beach. They're, one of the first bands that I listened to that was on Facedown Records that definitely got a lot of us into this kind of music. So, Sinai Beach, Sleeping Giant. Who else is playing? War of Ages. A Plea for Purging's doing like a reunion. And I don't know. There's a lot of bands. There's like 30 of them.
Damn. Well, that's right. It is a festival, so you got a bunch.
Yeah. And that's at the Glass House in Pomona, which is a fun venue. We played numerous times.
How did you guys get signed? What was the situation?
Oh man,
going back.
Yeah. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a trip. We were all in high school, and we recorded an EP that we paid for on our own, and just had some hole in the wall studio, and we were good friends with Eric Gregson, who's in Sleeping Giant, and at the time was in, or I think he's still in Death Star, but at the time Death Star was signed to Facedown Records, and we had been working with Eric, and he was helping like manage us, and he ran a small merch company at the time that we were printing all of our merch through. So he kind of dropped our EP to Jason, the owner of Facedown, and at the time that was in 2005, and at that time there wasn't, Whitechapel had not come out with, they were a band, but they hadn't recorded anything, so no one had heard that.
Yeah.
Suicide Silence would have been the only other band that remotely sounds like us, and they were a local band at the time too, so there really wasn't anything out there that sounded as extreme as we did. So when the owner of Facedown first listened to our EP that doesn't sound the greatest, he was kind of like, I don't know about this. Like, this sounds different. It's like really dirty sounding. Like, I don't know. But Eric, kept telling him like, dude, trust me. Like, this band is going places. Just go see one of their shows. So we're playing a small club in Chino, and he came out, and I don't even think we knew he was coming to the show, or maybe we knew, but we didn't see him that night. He didn't introduce himself. He didn't say hello or goodbye. But we sold that place out, and the show was like just chaos when we were playing, like people just flying everywhere and the crowd going nuts. And the next day, I guess he went to Eric and was like, yeah, tell that band that I'll sign them based off of their live show.
Wow,
and
that's awesome.
That's awesome.
So being in high school, and like I remember borrowing like my mom's like Volvo because it could fit all of us.
Hey man, I have a Subaru. Leave me alone.
Yeah, we all like crammed in the Volvo and drove down to San Diego where their office was, and signed the paperwork right there, and we were signed. I remember going back to school on Monday, like talking with all the other guys at our school who were into this kind of music and were, had little local bands, and we were just walking around tall on Monday like, nah, we're signed. We don't need to finish high school or anything. So
you finished school, right?
We did. We all
did. Good.
And soon after that, we went on tour for the first time and recorded our first album, and here we are.
That's an awesome story. That really is. Just so you got to know your stage presence has got to be on point. If this guy signed you just because of that.
Yeah, it was. I can remember the show. I remember it was absolutely crazy, but especially because it was a small venue. It only held maybe 300 or 400 people, and the fact that it was at capacity and just like, sweating hot in there, and everyone's like flying around and just going nuts, that he was like, all right, like, people seem to be into it. I can, I'll give it a chance. And
what do you think made it at capacity? Was it your promotion of the show? What was it? Was it word of mouth?
It was like MySpace back then. That's what we were using.
Ew.
But
What the hell is MySpace? I'm
yeah,
playing. I'm playing.
You use Tom.
yeah. Well, we always used to play our hometown venue that was it's called Showcase Theater, and it's not around anymore, but it's like a small legendary venue that used to be in Corona, California. And since we started before we were ever signed or recorded anything, we would always play over there, and we were always able to pack that place out. Just from our local scene, the people would always come out to shows back then. So just from that, like word of mouth got spread around pretty quick, and we just started seeing our shows always packed. And then when we recorded that EP ourselves and put it up on MySpace, then we just started getting tons and tons of people interacting with us on there. And I remember that was another thing too. One of the reasons he signed us was because we had more like friends or whatever on our MySpace page than like any of his band on his entire roster.
That's what it is today. Just, through, I follow obviously Danny's band and just bands in general. They don't care about how many CDs they give away anymore. It's how many likes you have.
Yeah.
It's
because it just shows popularity though.
Yeah, but forgive me if I'm wrong, but I could go to every computer in a public library and like your band as many times as I want. Could
There's
I not?
ways of increasing your Facebook a lot by doing stuff. Yeah.
How much of that do you think is legit?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that people don't like your band.
If it's a smart record label, they're going to look at interaction too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You agree with that, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, when we'll post pictures well, here's the thing though. It's like you can have 1 million, followers on Facebook, and when you post things, 10,000 people are going to like them, and 500 people are going to comment on it. So it's like it's hard to, when you see like, oh crap, this massive band has, like on Facebook we have I think 300,000 followers or something.
Yeah, you do.
And when we post things, we'll get 5,000 likes on a really good one or something, and then
crazy.
But it's just crazy to think that you're like, dude, that's like 10%.
I'll tell you, I get excited if like 37 people like a photo that I put up. I'm thinking it's a good day. Like, how does that make you guys feel when you see that many people like what you're doing?
It makes you feel good, but it's like I like the interaction, and I want to spread the name of our band to increase our shows and to have crazier shows, because at this point it's like a lot of people look at it like, okay, you have 1 million followers, but what does that equal to like dollar amount? And it doesn't equal out to anything, and the awesome part about where our band is right now is we literally 0% of this we do for money, because it's not our main source of income. Like we definitely still, without touring or anything, make income from the band just being at home, but it's not like when we were touring 10 months out of the year, that was our job, that was our career. Nobody had jobs when we got home, or the band was full time, so everything was the tours we picked, the shows we played, the music we were even writing, it all had to be safe, because this is our income. I don't want to come out with some some album out of left field that all our fans are going to hate, and then we don't make any money. And that's what a lot of bands, unfortunately, that's their mindset, because it pretty much has to be. If this is your career, you got to pay your mortgage, you got to do this and that. But that's what I like about where we're at right now. Like, we're recording right now for an album that'll be out in the summer of this year. Okay. And it's so fun because there's no pressure. Like,
so now,
go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
All right. So you said, just to go back a little bit, you said that this was probably, when you were back in high school, this was your main meal ticket, right?
Oh yeah,
So
for sure. We
what
put all our chips in this.
what changed that?
Well, I mean, we did it for 10 years of just going hard 10 months out of the year, never seeing our families or building relationships. And then when we decided to take a, like I think we took maybe 8 months off the road to like just spend with our families and
Right.
have downtime at home. And, one of our guys got married.
Oh, okay.
Then another guy got married. Then, kids started happening. And then, other jobs started coming up. And then at that point, had all just kind of been a little bit burnt out on
Okay.
just being on the road. It takes a massive toll on you after years and years of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I mean, now that's where we're at, where it's more of a part-time thing for us.
So
but
you're definitely you're having your cake and eating it too,
exactly, like
which is
we
that's good.
yeah, we couldn't be happier. Like everyone in the band is doing, great in their, everyone's pretty much married now and has kids and, just loving life. And then when we last year played our first show together in like 2 years or something, we hadn't been on stage together in a couple years. And we just had so much fun. Like we were just smiling the whole time. We're like, we can't wait like this long to do that. Like this
Right.
is so fun. So we, decided to do another record, like I said, which we're recording right now. And, this year we're booking a lot of things this year. It just has to be at, on certain days and certain times and flying to certain places. We're willing to make it work whatever way we can,
So you think eventually when you get older, you think you might revert back to that somewhat? Maybe when the kids are off at college and you have a little bit more time to dedicate back to it, you think you might go back?
I mean, not like it used to be, for sure. I mean, that's it's brutal being out there that long. But I think every main place that we have gone, Europe, Australia, Canada, Mexico, the U.S., I don't think that they've missed their last chance to see us. We'll come around. We'll go to as many places as we can. And like I said earlier, I really don't think that we'll ever be a band that like, all right, we're
You're
hanging
done.
it up. We're done. Like we'll kind of just do this forever and until, no one's watching anymore.
Yeah. You're blessed. You are.
Yeah, we're in a good place, we all feel, and we wouldn't really want to be anywhere else.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, for me, my question is: so after you guys, came off touring and stopped doing this for your primary source of income, how do you like? My thing is, it's like if I quit my job and went on tour for years, I almost wouldn't know like how to like what to go back to. Like, did you guys had something that you could you fell back on, or did you just find something that you could work with?
Well, I mean, it was scary for sure because, all of us, this was the most important thing to us back, from right when we graduated high school and we're doing this. This was like number one in all of our lives. Like this band came before any girlfriend I ever had or anything. This was number one, and that's how everybody was. But then, once, one person gets married and starts making, oh, this band is number two now. And, that I feel like I was one of the last people to like accept that. So it was scary for me at first seeing us, go from touring 10 months out of the year to 6 months because, this person doesn't want to be away from their wife or this and that. And I didn't have that. And I'm like, dude, like this is what I want to do all year long, So it was definitely scary at first, but it worked out in the better for everybody. And I'm glad it worked out the way it did. But like coming off tour, Brooke was was blessed enough to always work with his parents. They own a glass shop, so he grew up always, helping his parents out and learning, what they do. And now he lives in Texas with his wife and 2 kids, and they own a house, and he owns his own business doing that glass stuff out there. And he's been very successful at it. So he had that. Everyone else kind of had little side jobs. Like when I was done touring, really the only thing I could think of that I know I could get right away was a job at Guitar Center. Just like most people do coming off of tour. So I went down to Guitar Center, got a job instantly, and worked there for a couple years until I got a better opportunity and moved and got out of that. And so I think everyone kind of just eased into some starter job or something else to get their focus off of the band. And here we are. It definitely was a mission to get here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a trip.
Yeah, I mean, but still, I don't know. I give mad props to you guys because most people, it's like they can't even do the opposite of what you guys did, where like quit your. Well, you guys got signed in high school, but some people would be like, I can't just hope and pray and give up and go on tour, and then you guys did that, and then you did the opposite, where you're like, all right, we have this full-time income, now we got to quit and stop and kind of do the whole full-time job thing outside of being in a band. So it's like you did both.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a lot of bands that they don't have anything else to fall back on, or like how we were at first, too scared to step into the real world and figure out what life is like after the band. And so a lot of bands will just tour and record and eventually just start putting out horrible records and go from playing arenas to theaters to clubs to bars to VFW halls. You know what I mean? At the end of their career, where they were so massive at one point, but they just kept going down, 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 and they held on to it until they, they're just, I don't know, in a huge hole in the band. And we didn't want that. I'd rather, we stopped touring at the peak of our, the band, and that's where I wanted to be at with touring, because now, we get tons and tons of emails every single day. Please come here, blah, 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 this and that. People just messaging us saying how we've changed their lives. Like, it's crazy. And, that's why we're, we want to do more records, and we always want to play shows. We always want to fly places and perform for the fans. But, riding this train at 200 miles an hour, it's not going to be, at its peak forever. Like all these bands if they keep doing it forever and ever, they're eventually going to, crash and burn. And I'd rather slow down before that.
Yeah, I hear you.
On another note too, Dave, your artwork, your CD artwork, your T-shirts, everything's amazing. Is it the band that comes up with that? Do you guys have somebody that designs that for you?
Yeah, we've used multiple artists for our records and T-shirts, but it usually starts with one of us having a vision or an idea of what we would want the cover of the album to look like, or some sort of concept, and we'll give as much detail to the artist as possible and kind of give them their free range to do what they do. And it usually, the first draft that comes back usually isn't the first thing that or it ends up being on the record.
Yeah.
So after a few edits and back and forth, it's turned out pretty successful for us, and we've been happy with how everything's looked.
It's absolutely phenomenal. I'm looking at a bunch of it right now for Eternal Life. Your CD art is incredible. It's really, really good.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So do you ever get approached by, like, just say like your local Like, well, what, if any, what are you guys Roman Catholic? Are you Protestant?
We're just Christian.
You're just Christian. So do you like your church? Do they ever approach you and say, "Hey, you want to play for us? Can you play? Can you come play like a picnic or something like that?"
Just don't scream.
Yeah. No, our drummer B-Town, he plays drums for one of the churches in Corona, like on their worship team or whatever. But no, not like no one really asks us as far as to play Impending Doom, I'd say. But a couple of the guys have
asking you
played.
like every week. I'd be like,
Come to
"Hey,
our local
play."
church. Let's go.
People have asked us to play their weddings, and
Have you
I'm
done
dead
that?
serious. No, we haven't. But we've had some like really serious offers of like back and forth, and like almost doing. But I've seen a few videos of people walking down the aisle after they get married, and there's some nice sweet song, and then the song cuts out, and then one more songs come on, and they start headbanging and going crazy, and
That's
it's
great.
full of and all their like grandparents and everyone are behind them, kind of looking like, what the hell?
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It still kind of blows my mind. It's like you have your title of your band is Impending Doom. You got all this crazy like artwork. You have a song, the one of Violence. That one you have Murderer, and then when someone listens to your lyrics and sees your profile, they're like, "Oh, you're a Christian band."
Yeah, we like to push the limits and make people ask questions at least. Like they're just like, okay, this makes no sense. I don't understand how, and then we'll give some explanation behind it and creates conversation, which is awesome. We like talking with all of our fans, in person or online, or we usually after we're done playing like to come out to the merch table and hang out until the venue kicks every last fan out. But we like just hanging out, answering questions, and talking with them.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny too because I was talking to John about the title of your song "Murderer" and about the Christian thing, and I was just like, I mean, hey, the title could be "Murderer," but it could be, talking about condemning a murderer as a Christian. I mean, like I said, the title doesn't mean anything,
Exactly.
It could
there's always a way to twist it around to.
I think they were afraid of you.
Yeah, exactly.
So if someone asked you about the meaning of your band, the title of Impending Doom, what would you say?
I would say, I mean, it's really just, it means like the world that we're living in, waking up and going to sleep every single day, like this for everybody, like we're all going to die at some point. Like right now you're living your impending doom, how you're choosing to, go about your life. And, one day, right now it is just leading up to each one of our, deaths, our
demise.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, you gotta. I know they say like live today like it's your last, but
yeah, no, exactly. Got to take advantage for sure.
It's hard to do that when you have to do laundry.
That is true.
Food shopping and
I know adulting sucks sometimes.
Yeah, we can't all have trust funds, right?
I know, seriously. It'd be nice though. I'd love to be able to sleep in all day and just, ride my motorcycle all day, and that's my life. But it's not realistic.
Yeah, seriously. All right, dude. So I think that's everything we wanted to get to. For just two things. We're going to end off the episode with two songs. Well, actually, we're going to start it with a song, and then we'll end with a song. Which one of yours would you like to choose?
I think Murder is a good one, and maybe Death Will Rain.
Death Will Rain. All right, great. And also too, last minute plugs. So any upcoming shows? I know we talked about what was the title of that festival?
Facedown Fest.
Facedown Fest. We talked about that. Any your Facebook, your social media,
any shout-outs?
Anything. Yep. Any shout outs, mom, dad.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I mean, yeah, you can. for Instagram, our name's just Impending Doom, no spaces or underscores or anything, or go to Facebook and search Impending Doom. May 13th, Pomona, California at the Glass House. We're headlining Facedown Fest. And also April 14th, we are coming back to Mexico, and we're headlining a festival out there. So that'll be fun.
You're sending us free tickets to that, right?
Absolutely, and plane tickets.
Yeah. And meal tickets, right?
Exactly.
Tequila when we get there.
Praise
Absolutely.
Yes, do that.
Do it anyway.
David, nice talking to you, man. Good luck and have fun on those tours.
Thank you.
No
and
problem.
nice talking to you guys too.
Thanks, Dave.
man.